Please do explain.
Yeah, but don't. No, don't talk to me.
If she wants to talk.
You
talk to whoever you want to. Don't let him dictate.
Okay, what do you want, sister?
Well, they say that Jesus was not the Son of God.
Yeah, it's known because if you look to, okay, when we say Son of God, we speak in English language, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, when we say Son of God in English language, son has three meaning. When a man and a woman get together, produce a son, or an old man call a young man son, or stepson. So which one apply to Jesus?
First one, you know?
No, so you're saying God had the intercourse with Mary? Yeah, no, see, that's why if you go back to the history of this term when it was used by the Israelites. The Israelites, when someone was so righteous, they call him a son of God. Doesn't mean actual son of God. It means someone that is righteous. For example, in Caribbean, in Jamaica and other countries, they say this is a man of God. He's a man of God. What does that mean? It means this man is righteous, you understand? However, if you go back to the Romans from their paganism they believe, let me ask you something. The 26th of December, what does it remind you of?
What's on the 26th of December?
December is a Christmas day. Jesus was born.
See,
That's
for
what.
us it's different.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you know who came with it? Who came up with it? It was the Romans because the Romans had someone called a son of God called Mithra. Mithra, it was the name of a son of God of the Greeks that was born on the 26th of December. You understand? So when you look to Jesus, to the Romans, or Christianity is heavily influenced by the Roman paganism and Egyptian paganism. Jesus never came with this, I'm a son of God, or understand, we are the creation of God. And even if they say Jesus son of God, but you ask, what about Moses is a son of God? What about Solomon is son of God?
What about the prophecies in the Old Testament?
Say again?
What about the prophecies in the Old Testament?
We can get to them.
We can come to that, no doubt. We can come to that. But the point here is that, again, if Jesus was special, that the Son of God is only for Jesus, but in the Bible, Jacob was called a son of God. So what does that mean, son of God? Like I said to you, if you study history, or the Israelites, when someone is righteous, they call it a son of God. But not literally a son of God. But Qur'an came with, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah the Most High, refuted this, because that is a big accusation against the Creator. Because even rationally, if I bring to you a dog, yeah, if I bring a dog to you, yeah, and I bring a chicken, and I say this chicken is a child of the dog, to me, what doesn't make any sense? The dog is completely different. God is not a human being, yeah. God is not a human being. He's not a created being. God is the Creator. So how Jesus Son of God doesn't make any sense. Jesus is human. Human are son of human, not son of a Creator. You understand? Secondly, let me tell you something about the Bible. Yes. The Bible, do you accept the Bible is corrupted?
Not my Bible.
Okay, which Bible do you have?
Not my Bible.
Okay, which Bible do you have?
The Bible was not corrupted.
Okay.
Maybe on this side of the world, yes.
Okay.
On the other side,
She's Eastern Orthodox.
No problem. It's the same thing because why?
it's not.
Yes, I tell you why. Jesus never spoke Russian.
Okay, he never spoke Greek either.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. So you're helping me to prove my point. He never spoke Russian. He never spoke Greek. He never spoke English. He spoke English. So he spoke Aramaic or Syriac. So these two languages which Jesus spoke with, we don't have the original writing of Jesus. So why I mention this point? Imagine I said something in Arabic to you. Pay attention, yeah? Imagine I said something in Arabic to you. And he translated it. In order to know if what he's translating is correct or not, either you know this person to be trustworthy, truthful, and honest, or you yourself know the Arabic language and you can verify. So now when it comes to the Bible that we don't have it in its original language that Jesus spoke with. Likewise, we don't know the translators. So how can we trust the Bible?
You can say the same thing. You have the English version of the Qur'an.
But we have the Arabic. That's what I'm saying. So that's why, imagine now, we have two translations of English Qur'an. Can we verify it? Yes, because we have the original writing. That's my point.
It's a very weak argument.
What do you mean it's a very weak argument?
No, but say if I speak to my mum and I call her,
Yeah.
it's like, how are you doing? Obviously, I'll speak to her in Russian.
Yeah.
But if my friend over here would be like, oh, what are you saying? I will translate the meaning of it. I won't translate word by word, but the meaning will be translated.
I have no problem with that, but your friend knows you to be trustworthy and honest. But you don't know the translators. That's my point. My point. But
Christians have the confession. Christians confessed already that they don't have the original. So
yeah, Bart Ehrman.
When we talk about the original, you go ahead and talk about the translation.
Do you know Bart Ehrman? Okay, there's a scholar of Christianity. He was a Christian himself. He's from North Carolina University, yeah? And this person, he left Christianity and he wrote a book called Misquoting Jesus, yes? He said one of the things that he left Christianity, and bear in mind he knows Greek, yes? He knows other languages. So he said he left Christianity because there's many contradictions. Also, he had debates with William Wallace. William Wallace, he is a Christian. And William Wallace is a Christian, I think he's a Protestant Christian. He admitted it openly on YouTube. He said, yes, we cannot really say we have the Bible 100% correct. Because why? We don't have the original writings. But when it comes to Qur'an is completely different. We don't rely on a manuscript that we discovered in the middle of desert and we dust it out and we say, you know what, it's backdated 500 years ago, so let us follow it. Because the question we ask ourselves, who wrote it? Okay, we don't know who wrote it. Can we trust him? If we don't know him, I'm going to trust him. No, the Qur'an is a passed down Qur'an. That's why since the time of Prophet Muhammad, we had scholars of Qur'an. Yes, scholars of Qur'an, mean they were sitting in the mosque teaching the Qur'an. Yes. And you know what is very powerful about the Qur'an and very interesting? Allah said in the Qur'an, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّنَّا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. We have made Qur'an easy to be memorized. Another verse, Allah said, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We have sent down the dhikr, the Qur'an, and we will preserve it. Now, if the Christians, watch this, yeah? If the Christians and the Jewish and the Muslims, all of them decides to burn their scriptures, the only scripture will remain with us is what? The Qur'an. Do you know who can bring it back into the written form? Not the Muslim scholars. The Muslim scholars know the Qur'an as well. The Muslim children. That is a miracle because Allah mentioned that 1,400 years ago that this book will be memorized and will be preserved. That's why if now we challenge the Christians, the Jewish, no one memorized. You haven't even memorized it in its pure language. You know, you haven't even memorized it in Russia or English, let alone in its pure language, sister. That's why the beauty of the Qur'an. That's why you see Islam is spreading. People accepting Islam because they see Islam is still in its pure form. Do you understand? Never. عفوا أخي. سلام حياك الله كيفك؟ عبد الرحمن الدمشقية. ما شاء الله كيفك؟ طيب حياك الله بخير حياك الله.
Right here, right now.
Give it a notice.
Yeah.
How come those Arabs were able to maintain the originals?
Yeah.
And
What's
Christians
second?
with the civilization and empire, they could not.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the demonstration. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
شوف بعدين شيء.
خلص عبد الرحمن شكرا حياك الله حبيبي شكرا أخي.
إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الذين يدخلون.
ورأيت الناس
There you go.
يدخلون
There
في
it
دين
is.
الله.
That's my proof. That's my.
You know, I'll tell you this story. There's a brother became Muslim, and he's a young brother, mixed race. He's half English, half Jamaican, and he was praying with us the prayer, and the imam, the one leading the prayer, made a mistake, and there was a young brother corrected him. At the end, he came to me. He said, "Shamsi, do you remember when you spoke to me about the preservation of the Qur'an, that even the children memorized it?" He said, "I have witnessed it with my own eyes in your mosque." He said, "I'm praying next to this young boy, and the imam who was leading the prayer, he made a mistake, and the young boy corrected him." He said, "I knew what you said is correct, Shamsi." You know, you can't.
Nobody can make.
That's why, you know, and remember, sister, we have to understand. You remember when Christianity started, or let us say when Jesus came, because the brother mentioned, Abdurrahman mentioned it to me, and he reminded me of it. When Islam came, or when Jesus came, the true followers of Jesus, they were scared to teach openly. Why? Because the Romans were going after the true followers of Jesus. They were killing them. You understand? That's why they were scared to teach openly, and that's how one of the factors that people lose their religion. And for example, what happened to the black Africans? When the black Africans were, the Europeans enslaved them and took them to America, they stopped them speaking in their own language or teaching their children their own language. What happened? They lost their language. You understand? That's what's happening. So the point here is, as for the Muslims, before Prophet Muhammad died, the authority and the strength was belonged to the Muslims. So the Muslims were not scared to teach the Qur'an openly in their mosque. You understand that? So that's one of the factors that it makes sense that why Christianity was not preserved, because they were scared to teach openly and so on. So, but what I want to say to you, do you believe Jesus is God? Okay, let me ask you something. You and I and all of us here, we believe God is perfect. Correct?
Yes.
God is perfect, yeah? So he's perfect in his knowledge and he's self-sufficient, yes? Okay. So when Jesus said in the Bible, in Mark 13:32, no one knows the day, Uncle is getting tired. When Jesus said, no one knows the day and the hour, not even the angels in the heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. So Jesus doesn't know the hour. And you told me God knows everything. So if Jesus is God, he must know everything. Correct? But Jesus clearly doesn't know the hour.
It hits you like a stone.
You know what is interesting is the same thing that Allah mentioned in the Qur'an to Prophet Muhammad. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ السَّاعَةِ. Oh Muhammad, the meaning of the verse. Oh Muhammad, have you noticed, before we recite the Qur'an, we recite it in its pure language. That's why we kept it pure and preserved. We don't just translate. So, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ السَّاعَةِ. They ask about the hour, O Muhammad. Yes? قُلْ عِلْمُهَا عِنْدَ رَبِّي. Say the knowledge of it is with my Lord. So it's very interesting. Jesus and the Prophet Muhammad, they said the same thing. Both of them, they don't know hour. That show us what? They've been sent from the same creator and show us Jesus cannot be God. And what is powerful about the Qur'an gives us intellectual, rational argument why Jesus cannot be God. Allah mentioned about his mother, كَانَ يَأْكُلَانِ الطَّعَامِ. Both of them used to eat food. What Allah saying that? Because if Jesus eat food, that's not the nature of the Most High, because the Most High is self-sufficient. He's not in need of anything. If the Most High is in need of something, okay, to sustain himself, he cannot be the one who is self-sufficient. It was a rational, logical argument that Jesus cannot be God. Let me ask you, does God have a God? It doesn't make any sense. If God, because what is God? The creator, the greatest, the Most High, the one that created everything. But in the Bible, Jesus said, I'm going to my God and your God. Hang on. Jesus is God, but he's going to his God, so he cannot be God. That's why I said to you, the religion that makes sense and it goes in line with our natural inclination and a sound reasoning is Islam. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Say, O Muhammad, Allah is one. Allahu Samad is master, self-sufficient. He's not in need of nothing. Everything is in need of him. لم يلد ولم يولد. He begat not, neither was he begotten. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. And there is nothing like unto Allah. That's how Allah described himself in the Qur'an. In another verse, Allah said, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. Allah is the one that deserves to be worshipped alone. Al-hayyul qayyum, the ever-living, the self-sufficient, the one who is in charge of everything. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. He doesn't know sleep, he doesn't know get tired. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بين له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. And whatever is in the heaven and the earth belongs to him. Look how Allah described himself in the Qur'an. The God that makes sense to us. What do you think what I said so far?
Me.
Yeah, makes sense to you?
It does.
That Jesus cannot be God because God doesn't have God, but
No.
Jesus.
Well, see, that shows on my side that I'm not particularly educated in my religion for me to come back with an argument.
No, I don't agree with that. You know why? Because you don't have to be educated in any religion to know listen to this, yeah?
I am listening.
Yeah.
I
You know what?
appreciate your argument.
Yeah, see what I'm doing with you? I don't want to go in details about why the Bible has been corrupted, because I do agree you don't have enough knowledge to speak about it when it comes to manuscript. But what I'm emphasizing on now, something which is not by necessity. If someone comes to me now, let me finish with this point, yeah? And you can ask me. I know I've been talking a lot, but I will let you ask me a question. If someone comes to me now and he says, is Allah God? And I say yes. He said, but in the Quran, Allah doesn't know the hour. I don't have to be a scholar to know, you know what, that doesn't make any sense. Because Allah knows everything, but you telling me, but I believe Allah is the creator of everything and is God, but doesn't know the hour. That's clear proof he's not God. I don't have to study in any university or any schools or colleges to know that which is not by necessity. That's why Islam, it goes in line with that which is not by necessity. That's why when Islam refutes Christianity, Judaism, refute that which is every human being understands it. You don't have to have qualification from any university to understand God doesn't have God. If Jesus said he has a God, it cannot be God. Anyway, you can go ahead.
So, the Quran was revealed to the prophets by Angel Gabriel. So only one encounter in which he interacted with God.
It's not only one encounter, it's several.
There's many times.
Give me another example.
The Quran was reviewed through 23 years. There's many times it was.
Was it not written in 3 years?
Huh?
Was it not written in 3 years?
It was written in the Qur'an, so that's how Allah.
Any witness to the Prophet?
Yeah, there was many times the companions. We have Zayd ibn Thabit, we have his wife Aisha. Once he was in a mosque sitting down with his companions, and someone asked him a question. The Prophet started sweating, and he said that day was so cold, and he started sweating. And one of the companions said, Prophet Muhammad's leg was over my leg, and I felt the leg is so heavy. And what happened? That was the revelation. Then he started answering the question to that person. You understand? So there's many instances when they witnessed the revelation. But I will tell you something. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, Daniel received the revelation, and there was no one there with him. My point here is, but you still believe he's a prophet of God, even though, yeah, that's my point. So I don't know what the argument you're going to, even though we have witnesses that witnessed the Prophet Muhammad receiving the revelation. Also, so my point here is that Daniel in the Bible, which you believe is a prophet of God, he received the revelation and there was no any witnesses. You understand? But also, what about the Qur'an as well, sister? Even if there was no witnesses, yes, put it aside. Let us analyze the Qur'an. Have you read the Qur'an?
Part of it.
Okay.
The copy? I can give you a copy. Sorry, go ahead.
The Qur'an, one of the miracles of the Qur'an, Prophet Muhammad couldn't read and write. Yes? And he came to people that were eloquent in their speech. They were known to be poets. They speak in a poetry way, on a style of poems and so on. So when Prophet Muhammad came with the Qur'an to challenge them to bring something like it in its prophecies, in its legislation, and so on, they couldn't bring something like it. Did you know there's Christians, Arab Christians, who tried to do that, tried to accept the challenge, and they made themselves look very foolish. Why? Because they made mistakes in the grammar, which a child who goes to primary school, in Arabic school, he will not make the same mistake. So the Qur'an is, Allah never said to Prophet Muhammad, or Allah never said, I just believe. Allah gave us why the Qur'an is the word of Allah. So when you look to the miracle of the Qur'an, to the prophecies, I'll give you a prophecy. There's a verse in the Qur'an, Allah said, Huwa alladhi arsal. Look, they're going to harass me. Look, they're coming to harass me, look. He's telling him, go harass Shamsi. Watch. Wallah, I told him. Anyway, sister. Yes, sister. No, I'm not pointing to you. I'm pointing to my friend here. Anyway, sister, listen to this, yeah? Allah said in the Qur'an. Wait. Huwa alladhi arsala rasulahu bil huda. Excuse me, don't control the woman. Leave her alone. I'm speaking to her.
Sorry.
Yes, please. Yes.
Our Christian women here.
So you're allowed to have monopoly on her?
No,
then.
I'm asking
So I'm not having monopoly on her. She can walk free. All right. Anyway, let me speak to her. Please respect the woman as you claim that you respect women. All right. So let me speak. The verse in the Quran, which Christians cannot do that, to cite it out in its pure language. Allah said, "Huwa alladhi arsala rasulahu bil huda wa din al haqqi liyudhhirahu ala ad-din kullih wa kafa billahi shahida." It is Allah.
Not everybody here understands what you're saying.
That's why the Quran has been preserved. That's why the Quran has been preserved. That's why Christians lost their Bible. Because, thank you very much. Allah said in the Quran the meaning of the verse. Now I'm going to translate it. The meaning of the verse. Allah said, it's Allah who sent Prophet Muhammad with Islam in order for Islam to prevail other religions, yeah? And you know what is very interesting? Allah said, even if the disbelievers dislike it. Now in the Western world, mainstream media, there's a huge war against Islam. In Australia, every single day is articles speaking bad about Islam. Likewise in Britain, likewise in France, likewise in Germany and America. However, the fastest growing religion in the Western world is Islam. The war that has been waged against Islam, if it was waged against any religion, that religion would be died long time ago. You understand? Why I ask a good question? Why there is a huge war against Islam? Because the only religion that is standing firm against this agenda who want to destroy our human nature, who want to turn a man to woman and a woman to man, I'm speaking to her. I spoke to you many times. Who want to turn man to woman. Churches are accepting LGBTQ, they're promoting it. That's why there's a huge war against Islam. But the question here, I'm speaking to you because I spoke to you many times. As a smart girl, please, can you tell me where the Muslims get in this power that their religion is spreading fast in the Western world when there is a huge war against Islam? Excuse me, she can use her brain. You have to manipulate her I thought you don't manipulate women. She can use her brain. Because
You cannot face a man.
no, I only like face women. Yeah, yeah.
You want to find women.
But I thought men and women same.
No.
They're not same. You're not same. You're not same with her. I thought you're equal. Are you equal? Are you equal with the woman? Are you equal with the woman? Are you equal with her?
Come on,
So
You're
the-
saying you're just good enough.
I'll take you on now.
Anyway, sister, take care. Take care of yourself. Alhamdulillah.
Don't push me. Don't push
Leave it, man. Hey, stop it. Hey, bro, don't. I can knock people out. I will stand knocking people out. Leave him. Stand. Calm down. Why are you coming here? You come and disturb me. Are you drunk? He's drunk all the time. He's drunk. This guy's drunk. Alhamdulillah. No. Come on, man.
Why are you peeing in your
I
pants?
spoke to you
Why
many
are you
times.
peeing in your pants? When
Say
you see
again?
a-
Oh,
come
you're
on,
peeing
man.
in your pants.
Wait.
Christian man.
How do you know? Did you look at that? You looking down?
Look at you. You got some pee coming down there. Listen to me.
What?
You guys are cowards.
Yeah, you're drunk
You can
debating
only
there. Yeah.
Look for Christian
Bro,
men.
don't come close
But
to
you
me.
can
Don't come close to me.
you can try to-
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
That's all you can do, Shamsi.
Alhamdulillah, you know,
Shamsi can
I think
only
it's a camera.
advise
Alhamdulillah.
Christian women.
خليني
That's all.
Yeah, شوف، الحمد
This
لله.
big boy here.
As a Christian man, he agreed.
I am here. I'm challenging Shamsi.
Move away.
I'm challenging Shamsi. I'm challenging
Move
Shamsi.
away. Don't come close to me. 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 All right. I'm speaking to my camera and you are intervening.
I'm speaking
You are
to the
intervening.
camera.
No.
No
Anyway.
debate. Shamsi is afraid of debating
Okay,
Christians.
all right. Take care. Hey, bismillah.
Shamsi is afraid of
All right.
debating
Excuse
Christians.
me, you keep coming close.
No, I'm
gonna
just
shit.
telling
If you
people.
come close, I'm gonna
Listen,
push you
these
back.
Muslims
All
here
right.
are afraid
Anyway,
of Christians.
there is
Looking
hurt.
for
It's
Christian
burning.
women. That's all
Come,
you can do.
خلاص. Come, Mado, come. Come here. You follow me. Follow me. That's how you stop them. Come here. That's how you stop them. Why all the Christians drunk? All right. Why all of them are drunk? خلاص أنا. السلام عليكم. How are you? Abu Kanza, what are you doing here? Abu Kanza with the long hair. Anyway, Baba. Inshallah, after let me finish. I want to finish something. So what happened, Miskeen? They're burning, not Miskeen. By the way, all of them are drunk, you know. You can smell the wine too much. They love the blood of Jesus too much. They took too much. They were too excited about the blood of Jesus. Anyway, they were burned that we're giving da'wah, preaching to a young, smart girl. But have you noticed, he said, they're not the same. So the Christians believe Christian women are not equal to Christian men. They accept that. And they try to say that if Muslims believe that, then we are bad. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, may Allah guide her. Alhamdulillah. And that's what I said to her. Look, out of honesty, what I said to her, I'm not going to speak to you about the Bible in details because I have knowledge. But I'm going to speak to you about that which is not by necessity. Christianity doesn't make any sense. The Christians are burning because I'm giving da'wah. Alhamdulillah. May Allah guide them. Alhamdulillah, anyway. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum, Bilal. How are you, أخي? لك from Egypt. أحمد, كيفك؟ حياك الله حبيبي. طيب. بارك الله فيك. حفظكم الله. ما شاء الله. Allah بارك الله فيك. Allah bless you, man. جزاك الله خير. Yeah, so alhamdulillah, you know, I tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, Friday, one young girl become Muslim, alhamdulillah. Every Friday, someone accept Islam, alhamdulillah. Barakallah fi shukr.
Yesterday, two
Two people become Muslims, alhamdulillah. Christianity is dying, churches are empty. It's known. You don't have to be a Muslim to say that. Just go on Sunday, see churches. Saturday, everyone drunk. By Sunday morning, everyone hangover. They don't know their left from their right. How do they go to church? But go Friday to masajid full, alhamdulillah. Understand? Even though there is a huge war against Islam, but Islam is spreading. Because why there is a huge war against Islam? Because the only religion that is standing firm against paganism and disbelief and nonsensical ideologies is Islam. And we're not backing down, alhamdulillah. We're not doing it with violence. We're doing it with peacefully, respectfully, intellectually, alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar. The Christians here, day and night, shouting, screaming. Yeah, I go to church, man. Today is Sunday. Even the Christian preachers don't go to church. Sunday, they're here. Imagine, the preachers, they don't go to church. Friday, billah, Friday, you see people here. Friday, everyone's in the masjid. The preachers are munafiqun. Alhamdulillah.